Suspend your disbelief, your rational, analytic mind, just for a minute, just for the length of this podcast. What if all I am about to tell you is the truth? What if the information you will be provided is from a divine source? Just for this time, I am your Axis Mundi. Consider this podcast your channel, your second opinion. When I do a reading, something larger than myself is working through me. So ask what you wish. This is your channel, your doorway to the divine. Welcome to Johnstarot. Welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be listening to this podcast. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay over here. So we've had a couple of interesting days here lately. We've had the incident with Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to discuss that a little bit. And I'm also going to discuss a little bit about our president's health. He's had a definite turn in his health, and we're going to take a look at that and ask some questions. I'm going to bounce around a little bit today. I will usually, tell a story, but I think this Charlie Kirk thing, there's some things that we need to learn from this. And so let me move right over to that page. So as of right now, this is Friday morning, September 12th, 2025, and it's 10:08 a.m. And the gunman and the Charlie Kirk incident has been identified and taken into custody. And that is a relief, I'm sure, to us all. Now, there's going to be more information released about this young man, and I'm not going to get into any of the politics of it. I'm just going to say that I'm glad he's been taken into custody, and for right now, he's taken off the streets. And he is definitely an unwell man and not somebody we want wandering the streets with firearms. During this whole incident, this is an article here from NBC News. And I'm going to read just a little tiny bit of it. Charlie Kirk's assassination highlights a history of political violence in the United States. Kirk's killing was the latest in a series of attacks and threats targeting a range of American political figures, from President Donald Trump and members of Congress to governors and judges. Kirk was not an elected official, though he wielded influence as the founder of conservative advocacy group Turning Point USA and was close ally of the Trump administration. I was not in any way surprised by Kirk's killing. Michael Jensen, a researcher at the University of Maryland who tracks such violence in a domestic terrorism database. Jensen said he has seen an increase in attacks targeting what he characterizes as government entities. So an increase of attacks on government entities. Legislators and candidates as well as officers carrying out immigration enforcement actions. You cannot simply say it's coming from the left. It's coming from the right, or it's coming from the fringe. It's coming from everywhere, Jensen said. And this just may be more of what I have talked about in terms of us being in a cycle of violence as a society. It may be, again, another manifestation of that cycle of violence. And I'm sorry, as an empath and a one-time Buddhist, I am against violence of any sort. And I feel sorry, my condolences to the Kirk's wife and family. But one of the things that really disturbed me when this thing was happening was the pouring out of outrage and anger. Now, what I try to do when these things happen is I try to remain detached. Because if you are in a state of a highly emotional state of anger, and we saw this during the pandemic, when people were in a high rate of fear and anxiety and anger, then you tend to be easily manipulated and not able to make rational decisions. And I saw a lot of that during this. I heard a lot of things on social media. I went out to Fox and I took a look, and people were talking about, oh, there's going to be a civil war, or there's going to be a payback. This is all on the Dems, and we're coming for you. I was like, whoa, whoa. And, and at first it kind of disturbed me a little bit. But then I had to think about it a little bit more. And it didn't happen when some of our political leaders. There was this guy here. What's his name? He's a lawmaker, and he's in Representative Clay Higgins, Republican from Louisiana. He took to X on Thursday and vowed to use congressional authority and every influence with big tech platforms to mandate immediate ban for life of every post or commenter that belittled the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Higgins said that any social media accounts from people who ran their mouths with their smart-ass hatred, celebrating the heinous murder of this beautiful young man, must come down. So instead of trying to calm things down, he's trying to ramp things up. And President Trump also released a video trying to ramp up emotions and ramp up excitement, ramp up the anger. Rather than trying to calm things down, these people are trying to ramp things up, because when they get you all ramped up, then you can be manipulated, and they can get you to do what they want you to do. I try to remain detached and objective, and look at these things for a couple of days before I make any decision on which way I feel about it. And it's very dangerous to get caught up in the emotion of a situation, the detachment, and being able to step back and take a look at it and really think about it. And one of the things I noticed as I step back in my detachment was how they're trying to get people ramped up so they can be manipulated. And then I thought about it a little bit more, and what I saw was in all this anger, there's a lot of anger. And I'm going to go into the tarot here in a second. And there's a lot of anger. Here's one article I got from MSN this morning. Boston University College Republicans call for security, accountability after the Charlie Kirk assassination. So conservative people on the campus there in Boston are concerned for their safety, I imagine. And all that anger, what is that anger? What is that all about? I'll tell you one thing I learned long ago when I got sober is what anger is all about. I'll move over to my tarot cam. We're going to bounce around a little bit. What all that anger is about. Whenever I get angry, and I'm angry and emotional, and what that generally has to do with is fear. So these people who are so angry are really, underneath it all, very fearful. And we're going to talk. They're very fearful. They're scared. And I'm going to ask the tarot a couple of questions about what's going on here. And what is MAGA afraid of? What is this Representative Higgins, what is he afraid of? That he's make these outlandish, instead of calling for calm, and gets the people stoked up, and so he can manipulate them. And then the people get all ramped up. But what are they afraid of? So let me ask the tarot. That'll be my first question. And my ability to read tarot is a gift, an expression of divine love. And I'm here to share it with you in that same spirit. So I'm going to ask the tarot, what are these people really afraid of? First off, that's my first question. I have some other questions too about this issue. So what are these people really afraid of? Because really all that anger is just masking fear. So what are all these MAGAs afraid of, that they have to come out with such violence in order to defend themselves? Because that's why people get violent. They're afraid of something that is going to attack them or assault them. Are they afraid that all the snowflake liberals are going to come and get them and put a flower in their hair? I don't understand. What are they afraid of? What are all the liberals, what are all the MAGAs so afraid of that they respond with such anger? My first card is the Empress. My second card is the King of Coins. And my third card is the Three of Wands. And let me go ahead and throw some runes on these, just because that's what I do. So for the Empress, the King of Coins, the King of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups, what are these people so afraid of, that they're so angry, that they have so much fear that they express it in anger? What are they so afraid of? Empress, King of Coins, and the Three of Cups. And my first rune is called Gabo. First rune is Gabo. And the second rune for the King of Cups is called Thuraz. And my third rune for the Three of Cups, Helgaz. There we go. So what are they so afraid of? Let's look at my first card, the Empress. That is that is Sophia. That is the mother goddess. That is somebody who is from her feet, a river of plenty flows. She's also pregnant with new ideas. And she is a goddess of reason and of rational thought and of plenty. So what they're afraid of is they're afraid of want. They live in a world of want, of less than, and not enough. And when you live in a world of having not enough resources, money, food, ability to pay your rent, then you tend to lash out, and you think that somebody else is going to take that from you, or take the little bit you have, and you're very defensive. So these people are unfortunately living in that kind of world, in that world of want, of desire, and not having enough. And what they need to have is Gabo. They need to have a better relationship with their higher power, with their God, because the universe will supply enough for us all if we allow it to do so. Sometimes we get in the way of that with our actions and our fear, but it's been my experience that if me as a sober person, I have to live like that. I depend upon my higher power for everything in my life. And that is a better way to live. If you're living in a world of fear, of want, and not fearing that you're not going to have enough, definitely the cards and the runes are suggesting that you develop a partnership with your higher power, with your God. Now, Christians are always big on talk, but I don't know how big they are on actually doing this. What do they say? I don't know. I forget the exact term. But that's how I live my life. And that's what the cards are suggesting here. Why are they so afraid? And then my next is the King of Coins. That is kind of like a person who is in charge, and he's acting like everything's okay. That all the things that he wants in life are going to be in the right place, and that it's all happening. It's all being manifested. And then the rune has to do with the rune is called Thuraz, and that has to do with being protected. So if you're living in a world of faith and connection to the universe or to your higher power, then you can move forward in a place where you're like the King of Coins, where like everything's going to be all right. I got everything. Everything is under control. I've got everything. It's happening just the way it's supposed to. And have a little faith. And then the rune Thuraz has to do with not only that, but you'll be protected by your higher power. You're not going to lose the things you have. And then in the future, we look at the Three of Cups. And that has to do with mind, body, and spirit coming together. So if you can live like that and come together, Let these things come together, mind, body, and spirit, and realize that you're going to have enough. It's going to be all right. Your life won't be so chaotic. And remember, these periods of chaos like this, hell gas, the rune hell gas, has to do with hailstones, a hailstorm. A hailstorm only lasts for a brief period of time. And these periods of extreme anxiety, like unfortunately the Charlie Kirk incident, all that extreme anxiety and fear only happens for a short period of time. Remain detached, you think about things, and don't get caught because it's only lasts for a short period of time. And that's what it says about that. Do I want to ask any more questions on this? I talked about rising tensions, the threat of political violence, and what path should we follow. And the path we should follow during this period of time is detachment. And stay away from it and let the dust settle before you make up your mind. And don't get caught up in emotions of the moment because you could be manipulated. Remember, your higher power is going to take care of you. You're going to have enough. You have a partner, be connected to your higher power, have a partnership. And then you'll be in a better position to manage events, manage your emotions, and you'll be protected as you move through this. And, get yourself together, mind, body, and spirit. Maybe do a little meditation, do a little prayer, because these periods only last a short period of time. I am going to move on to another story that I have here. And this is a story regarding poor President Trump and his general health conditions. So the other day he was at, September 11th thing, and he was showing signs of stroke. And that's what I'm going to look at right now. And that's going to be my next set of questions. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And initially, as you look at him right now, he's sitting there with Melania, and she's this woman's always got the look on her face like she's stone cold cool, and she is going to be unmoved by emotion. But as I look at our president already, as he sits down for this, he shows signs of a right-sided facial droop. And I do this at work. I'm an ICU nurse, and I see these types of things. I watched a guy the other day. He's a physician, and the physician says, "No, this was not a TIA or a stroke." And that's kind of what it looked like to me, was a TIA, a transient ischemic attack. And this is the beginning. There's a right-sided facial droop. It's kind of mild. Let me go ahead and run this. And Melania looks away, and everything's calm. But he definitely has right-sided facial droop, and he's looking. He's going, man, I don't feel right. I'm not 100%. What's going on with me here? I'm not feeling 100% exactly. It'll pass. I'll just wait it out. It'll pass. It'll be okay. And then Melania looks at him. Hey, Donald, are you all right? Are you feeling okay? And then, bam, Now he gets something severe is wrong. Something major is wrong. Whoa. Look at the right-sided facial droop. It is marked. It is severe at this point. He's not doing well. And Melania's looking at him. Donald, are you okay? Are you okay, Donald? And he's not okay. And not for this. He's going, oh, but it'll pass. It'll pass. And then it goes into another period where right here, watch. Recovery phase. Oh, and it's gone. It passes. It went away. Okay, Donald, you're all right. Let me move over to my tarot page. Gather my runes. It is my opinion, and I am just a nurse, that he is not okay. He is definitely not okay. And it shows that he's not okay. And my opinion is, does he appreciate the severity of his health problems? I will do a yes or no on this. Let's gather the cards. Does the President of the United States appreciate the severity of his health problems? As I look at it, even though this doctor says it's not a TIA, It looked like a TIA to me. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. I think he had a TIA right there, a transient ischemic attack, which can be precursor warnings to a more serious event that is just around the corner. And my question, let me go ahead and shuffle the deck, is the president aware? Does he appreciate the severity of his health condition right now? That is my concern for him. Does he appreciate the severity of how tenuous his health is right now? And I'm going to ask yes or no. I don't think I'm going to do a reading on this. I'm just going to say yes or no. Let me move this out of the way. Does the president, and then when I do these, swords and pentacles are no, wands and cups are yes. Does the president appreciate the severity of his current health condition? And the first card is the Four of Swords. That's a no. The second card is the Hierophant. That's a major arcana, and I throw those out. The third card is the Eight of Pentacles, and that's a no. And then the fourth card is the Page of Swords. So no, he does not appreciate the severity of his health. Ace of Coins, no. And then the final card is the Magician. I'm not going to do a reading on top of these. Many times I do. I just wanted a straight yes or no. Does he appreciate the severity of his health condition, even though I see it and I appreciate it? He's in such denial. He thinks he's Superman. He's going to live forever. And that he is, and he has people worshiping him, praising him as, I think they were saying that he's God's chosen and all that. We're all God's chosen. But he really thinks he's above it all. He thinks he's better than us. That's part of his narcissistic personality disorder. So he is not going to be susceptible to the same things as us common human beings. But the fact of the matter is, he's just a human being. He's fallible, and he's mortal. And nobody escapes the consequences of age. And he's not going to escape. But he doesn't appreciate it. Not going to happen to him. He doesn't believe it. Even though we all seen it, and he doesn't believe it. So I'm going to gather the cards. I really thought, let me shuffle the deck. I really thought that this would get his attention. It certainly got my attention. So my second question on that was just going to be, will he leave office early due to his health concerns? Yes or no? Will Donald Trump leave office early due to his health concerns? Because he's not looking too good in that video. Will he leave office early as a result of his health concerns? My first card is a no. That's the Two of Pentacles. My second card is a Five of Pentacles. That's a no. Third card is the Strength card. That's a no. I throw those out. It's a major arcana. Oh, my fourth card, he will not leave voluntarily. My third card is the Three of Swords. No. My fifth card is the Nine of Cups, and my final card is a cup, the Eight of Cups. I'm not going to do a reading on top of these. No, he's going to stay until nature takes him out. So that is how that's going to be. As I look at that, and I'm going to do a bobblehead video with that, because that video just really comes right out and says, "Hey, we got some problems here. Are you willing to look at the problems?"
Hey, there's something awfully screwy going on around here.
Yeah, and he needs to take a look at his health and take care of his health. And I'm going to wrap it up for today.
Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot.
Well, it was my pleasure. I want you all to be careful out there. Be careful, be cool, be kind. Remember, find faith, have courage. If you would like to appear on Johnstarot, do an interview, I would love to interview you. If you have a book you want to promote, if you have a positive cause you want to promote, maybe you just have some ideas or concepts or a different political point of view from what I express. I'm willing to do an interview with you. I'm on Facebook, which just another place where I post these things. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at john@johnstarot.net, or you can get a hold of me out at Facebook, and we can set up that interview time. So until next week, like I said, be careful, be cool, be kind, and I will talk to you all next week. All right. Bye-bye.